Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi everyone, we're from Group 3. We want to answer the discussion question about the movie The Pursuit of Happyness. In the beginning of the movie, Chris Gardner was working as a sales representative for medical equipment. He sells medical device called Bone Destiny scanners. Chris Gardner struggled with homelessness while raising his son. When he was lost his job as his financial problems, and it seems to be only getting worse, he had been kicked out of the place where he lived due to the fact that he wasn't able to pay rent. Chris and his son spent the night wherever they could. To earn a few extra bucks, Chris took some random jobs like tidy a garden, build the roof, clean basement, and even sold his blood. Also, he was never very proud of the latter. Before he became a trainee for intern stockbroker and finally worked for the company for a full job time. I think he do. He sees happiness as having money to be able to give things to his son that he can't before. He does for his son and set an example that anything can be achieved if you set your mind to do. She has a job and not a career. She is a hotel maid and works double shift because Chris' medical device sales are terrible. Because of that, Chris' wife left them for a job in New York. It all happened because Chris lost all of his money and his wife couldn't bear with life like that.
Chris' wife worked as a laundryman in a famous hotel in America. After they separated, the wife went to New York to find a new job, a restaurant employee before child. But this was prevented by her husband who was not allowed to bring the child. Chris does everything he can to make eye drop. Their unpredictable life and the challenging situation they encounter every day. The actuality of Chris' ambition to be a happy person by valiantly to become a broker in extremely from his high regret from being a decent father.
If I become a father, I will feel like a failure and sad. Worth it. Because he chose a persistent and unyielding nature.
Happiness is not word that can be described. Happiness is something that makes one's life more beautiful. Everyone must have felt happiness, even if only temporarily. The meaning of happiness for me is being able to get what I want and what I need. I think that people's happiness cannot be taken away by other people because happiness is not what people want, but what people need.
Of course, after watching this movie, I feel motivated by the dreams that Chris has. The biggest goal in Chris' life is to return back his family and try his best to make his son to be happy. I feel very concerned when I see Chris struggle in realizing his dream. I also have my own problem in my life, and of course, you guys have to. But when I watched this movie, I felt nothing compared to the problem that Chris had. He was very strong in solving his problem. Chris makes me think there is always a way to find no matter what the problem is. To be honest, from the beginning of this movie, I already thought that this was true story, and it turned out that my guess was right. I was a little bit surprised that the story was real, and I think this movie is very, very motivating and really recommended to watch.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.